Hey y'all. So I want to again apologize for not having the video in this format, but it's still important. The message still stands, the message still hits, and maybe it's because you needed to be all up and close and personal so you could see my eyes and know that I'm very serious about everything that I have said. I love her cause she got her own. She got her own. So this is stages 3 and 4 of Erickson's stages of development. We're going to be covering that today. What we'll be talking about because it's centered and it's very important for coincides with the message and what I was saying about our finances. Okay. Um, and so Spirit had told me as I was cooking after the first video, made me some delicious pasta. I've been craving pasta and things, and I haven't had it in such a long time. It's so good. When I eat pasta, I eat pasta. You know, one thing about me when it comes to weight, body image, and things of that nature, and my relationship with food, I love food. I love to eat. I love to cook. I love to experiment and things like that. I love the whole entire indulgence and pleasure experience, right? Like think about the movie Eat, Pray, and Love with Julia Roberts. The when she was in Italy, the Italians was like, "That's what's wrong with you Americans. You don't take time for pleasure, right? You don't take time for pleasure and things. All we think about is restricting ourselves and punishing ourselves and critiques and being hypercritical and so on and so forth, but we never sit down and enjoy pleasure. And that is something that we should change that, especially black people. We're for damn sure have not been allowed, have not been taught, have not been, you know, granted this space of pleasure and enjoying ourselves and enjoying life and understanding that life is more than just working real hard and dying and paying the bills and paying the kids stuff and going on to glory. And so it's calling for us to enjoy more pleasure and pleasure because pleasure has been hypersexualized. It's not about sex. It's about enjoying food, enjoying the people, enjoying rest, enjoying moments, enjoying different things, right? And it's not always going to be about getting in the mud, getting your nails dirty, right? Oh my gosh. And I can't do nothing but wait for this moment to pass, to this moment to get by us, right? And that's a metaphor for motherhood. We can't do nothing but let it pass. Just let it fade. It gets easier. It gets harder. I feel like motherhood is like a hill, a slippery slope, right? The whole roller coaster, and it goes down, right? So it starts off and it's like we're creeping up. If you are new, you're postpartum, you're a new mom, new baby, fresh out the womb, we're creeping up for it to get hard. And I believe that this preschool and school age periods, the stages of development for our children, is the peak. This is the hardest it's going to be. And then it starts to trickle down, right? And so we're climbing up that. And so Spirit had told me, like I said, when I was cooking, that us new moms, you have 5 years. On your mark, get set, go. You have 5 years. Okay? 5 years to make something shake, to follow your dreams, to turn it into reality, to make, to hit your financial goal. This is a rat race, mama. And let me tell you about the spiritual significance of a rat. Because, usually in the hood, right, we talk about somebody out here is snitching. Right? We so spirit and spirituality. So yes, so like I said, in the hood, you a snitch. If somebody call you a rat, it's because you snitched something. You ratted somebody out. But spiritually, rats symbolizes resourcefulness, adaptability, and survival. Because they navigate dark spaces and multiply quickly, they are powerful reminders to trust your intuition, guard against hidden deception, and stay resilient through challenging famine season of your life. Okay? The core themes, like I said, resourcefulness and tenacity. The rat spirit animal teaches you how to glean wisdom from overlooked sources and adapt to sudden changes in your environment. The intuition and foresight, known for scurrying away from danger, a rat appearing in your life or dreams urges you to listen to your gut and recognize subtle red flags. The deception and toxicity, because they are known to chew through things and hide in the shadows. They can serve as a spiritual warning against hidden sabotage, gossip, or toxic relationships. The Chinese zodiac, if you dream of a rat, it is a positive sign signaling a period of abundance, good harvest, or new beginnings. In the Indian, they are worshipped and they are highly blessed because they are symbols of good fortune and prosperity. Biblically, Christians believe that they were a ritual of uncleanliness, disease, and divine judgment. Them running in the house is about unaddressed issues, anxieties about contamination, or the need to confront a situation that feels like a nuisance. All right? But this is about resourcefulness, intelligence, and survival. Rats are resourceful. They know how to survive in your house. They know how to survive in the wild. They run into your house to survive, right? They know when to hide. They know where to go. They know how to move. They know all the things, right? Look at them navigate a big ass city. When they're outside, they not only they have to figure out how to hide from people, but they also have to hide from a hawk. Boy, I've been watching you like a hawk in the sky, and I know you are my prey. All right. We're wearing many hats as a mom. But regardless of what's happening, a toxic situation, right? A toxic love situation. A lot of us don't know the nigga we had kids with until we have kids with them. We don't know who we got in our corner and who we don't have until the time it is to need them. You are resourceful. You can survive. Honey, I am not saying make a perfect cookie cutter crisp picture of yourself as a mother. I'm not saying there is a saintly way for you to make some money as a mother. Do what you gotta do. as long as you do it. That's what I'm saying. You gotta do what you gotta do, how you do it. This is how we do. We make it money in the club. The rat is encouraging you to access your priorities. Get your priorities in check. What are your priorities, ma'am? Flexing on Instagram should not be your number one priority. That girl's trip is not your number one priority. That man is not your number one priority. Dating is not your number one priority. It's your income and supporting and supplying for these kids. Hi, mama. Don't you touch it. Don't you touch it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you. That child's joy, that child's development, that is your number one priority. You being horny, you wanting to date, you wanting to seek attention from a nigga, that's not your priority. 5 years. You have 5 years to pursue your dream that will lead you to having the ideal situation for raising them kids. You want 2 kids? Okay, honey, and you want to be a business owner? Okay, be the business owner and make sure you do a business and you put your all into a business that is going to allow you to afford 2 children and the business expenses. You want to be a stay-at-home mom? Cool, great. You need to figure out how you're going to create income for you to be able to stay at home. That can be Instacart. It can. And that is okay. You don't need to be the CEO of a business. You know, there's a lot of pressure for us as women to be these boss babes, these real rich and wealthy women. I'm not trying to be rich and wealthy. I'm trying to be comfortable and content. I'm not trying to be dripped down. I don't want 10 gold jewelries on my neck. That's itchy, anyways. Real or not. That's too much. It's too much movement. That's too much biting. That's too much on my neck. How am I nigga supposed to kiss my neck? I want somebody to walk up behind me and kiss me on my neck and be on my neck. Been such a long time, I forgot that I was fine. So kiss me on my neck and be on my neck. If you want to feel me, better be divine. Bring me water, water for my mind. Breathe love in my breathe love. Excuse me, 'cause these herbs are through, these herbs are real. Okay. So we just have to do what we have to do for what's best for these kiddos. So now let's talk about the kiddos and why I'm going so hard. Okay, she going in, and I'ma go hard, and I'ma go. I want to do. You know how people be like, or I want to do that. I gotta find me a man. There's a boy. There's a cutie pie that knows how to do that. I'm gonna find him. And when I find him, I will find him. Okay, so let's talk about the next two stages of Erison. So the first stage is initiative versus guilt. This is preschool 3 to 5. Okay, ages 3 to 5 for preschool. This is when a kid starts school. Like some of them might start school. You might start putting your kids, and this is around the time that people not now nowadays, because right now at this with this economy, we are putting our children into daycare at 2 days. Oh, okay. At 2 days old, daycare is like accepting, accepting. Okay, 2 hours, your baby, 2 hours. Oh yes, our daycare takes them. Must be potty trained, but um, who's driving this car? Lately, y'all, I really gotta start walking around this neighborhood looking decent, because I've been seeing so many people in just really nice cars, and they just be looking so well put together. I don't mind an old man with a nice little car. He's enjoying his retirement. Oh, that's my neighbor's child. They got a new. Maybe that's the. Oh no, being nosy. That's why I shouldn't be nosy. Okay, y'all. I need to start closing this door. Stop being nosy. Okay, so I can't read my handwriting. That's the issue. I am like, what did I write? I cannot. I am so sorry. Hold on, let me just pull it up, because I had it anyways. I don't know why I deleted it off. Okay, so anyways, so this is initiative versus guilt. This is them asserting their power, control over their environment while developing a purpose. They're starting to fill out their purpose in life. They're trying to get a sense of this purpose, right? This is when children may feel like, okay, you know what, I can lead. I could lead others. I could be the line monitor, right? They feel like I can make. This is where they're. And honestly, this is their control. Their sense of control is actually through play. So during playtime, this age group is really great with play therapy. And so if you had a child who you want to know like what's going on in a situation, like if your child had experienced like sexual abuse and things like that, or this is where a child can be able to tell the environment their home has been in through their play. What they have been observing up to now is highlighted and shown through their play. So sometimes if you get a kid who is very bossy, very wants to tell you, no, do this in the game, no, do that, typically you will see the reflection of a bossy mother and a bossy environment that they're being grown up in. If a child is being hypersexual with the dolls and things like that, then you may know that your child is experiencing sexual abuse. If your child is, now this one is a little tricky, because this is just the nature of boys, right? A lot of boys, and this is just from my observation, a lot of boys love to play fighting, right? So if they consume a lot of fighting materials and things like that, kung fu, it don't even have to be gore, gangster shit. It's just it could be just them watching Power Rangers, right? If they're consuming those things, especially at that young age, they will demonstrate that out, right? If you will see them, if they experience a lot of domestic violence, you will see them being very violent in how they interact through play. Children express a lot in how their understanding of this world is through their play, especially between the ages of 3 and 5. Um, but overall, they are learning how to take initiative while also working with others. So they're learning how to share. They're learning how to follow the rules, so everybody can have a great time. They're learning, okay, don't kick. Okay, they're learning not to be a sore loser. This is also the stage that I personally believe that this is where narcissism it starts to develop. Right, you start to see if this is a child who knows how to manipulate to get their way, to get an outcome, and things like that, right? If it's not corrected around this time, it can it can lead to some things. And so children who try to exert too much power, right? Those who are very bossy, like I said, a lot of times they may experience a lot of disapproval. They may experience rejection. People are like, I'm not your friend. I don't want to be excuse me. I don't want to play with you because you're a meanie and things like that, right? Which then could lead to a sense of guilt, a sense of shame, a sense of not feeling confident within self. Alrighty. Let me see if I need to add anything else for that one. But I think that I got that wealth of information going down for you, right? Am I right? Or am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? Mm-hmm. So yeah, they won't have this. They won't take initiative for anything else. So they won't take initiative to help you clean up. They won't take initiative to, to stand in line and follow instructions if they're in school. They won't have an initiative to help their teachers or their parent out in certain different things because they feel this guilt, this self doubt, this shame. Like maybe everything how I act in this world isn't being accepted, right? And so it's kind of like, dang, like nobody like me. And usually that's kind of where narcissism starts to stem from. It's the bullying around this age period where they receive this rejection. So now they're going to do whatever it takes to feel this sense of power through by rejecting other people because they were rejected themselves. Now, the second one, or the fourth, I should say, is the industry versus inferiority. Now, this is ages 6 through 11. Okay. The overall outcome for this one is confidence. This is why we talked about Oshun, because Oshun is the deity of confidence. Okay. Confidence, sex, allure, seduction. All right. Just to get my attention and a note and a drink. When we made she nodded and winked on a note that said, it's about time we get together. Let's dance now, hook up later, we could do whatever. She had confidence. So far up the game, but to her who I'm with don't even mean a thing. She knew what I want, and now I'm thirsty for more seduction. I looked at my child and started singing, so now she on her way. Get it, girl. 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 I love you. Get it, girl. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Okay, so this is 611. So these are ones who are coping with new social and academic demands. This is about now they're seeking the approval of their peers. This is now where it's kind of like, okay, mommy, like you did all you could do. It was cute or whatever, like, but what does my friends say? Right? What does my friends say? How do my friends feel about all of this? Like, girl, say whatever you want. What about my friends? What about your friends? Okay, so through interactions, kids begin to develop a sense of pride within their accomplishments and achievements, right? So this is them getting good grades. Are they doing good grades? Are they falling behind? This is when you start getting IEPs going on for the kids, right? Now that the age or they might be diagnosed. I think at 7 is when you start to be able to diagnose a kid on ADHD. So you start to see how your child is significantly different to their peer group. Are they just about the same, or are they so separate? Are they smarter? Are they more gifted? Or are they slower? Right? Girl, that is too spicy. Like, that's too hot, mama. And so, if they're successful in this ending, then they feel a sense of competency, right? But if they're not successful, then they'll feel like a sense of failure. This is where it's kind of like, okay, you can tell if they're gonna make it, if they're gonna make it in life or not. Okay, this is when you're like, okay, yeah, like this, my child ain't gonna be shit. Like they don't do good in school. Or you be like, oh my God, they're exceller. Like I gotta start. This is where you determine if they really gonna have a college fund or not, you know? And so little encouragement creates doubt. I don't know what I said. Ooh, I cannot read that. Whatever. So during 6 and 11, right? So they're in school. And so this is when teachers is doing perfect attendance awards. This is a perfect, yeah, student of the month. They're getting, stickers during the week and things like that. Teachers are doing a lot of reward and punishment behavior, some positive and negative reinforcements going on, and they're in it within the school's environment. And then they're also doing positive reward and punishment within their peers, and then they're also experiencing it through you, right? This is when you start to see their full behavior. It's no longer this is a toddler learning how to navigate these big, strong emotions. Now I have a 7-year-old with a nasty ass attitude. I have an 8-year-old who is very respectful. I have this, I have that, right? And so, um, hey girl, was it too hot now? I told you, you probably get a hot sauce now. It's hot. Now, mommy had to put a lot of hot sauce in there when I was eating my pasta, babes. I don't know. Okay, so children who are encouraged and commended by parents and teachers develop a feeling of competence and belief in their skills. Those who receive little or no encouragement from parents, teachers, or peers will doubt their ability to succeed. Okay, so if you're a teacher who is constantly, because a lot of these teachers don't lack emotional control themselves, but this is when they're now starting to complain about the child's behavior in a class and things like that. This is when teachers be like, oh my gosh, your child is such a disruption. But they're not really acknowledging the fact that they're just a really boring teacher. This is when, now let's get into race, right? As a black mom, this is when that prison, what is it, kindergarten to prison pipeline, school to prison pipeline starts to happen. This is when your child is now starting to be criminalized. This is when they want to put oppositional defiance disorder on your child and things of that nature, right? So you do have to be careful. And so let's go in deeper now, tying it into our finances. So from 3 to 11, you need to figure out what is the best school system for your child. What is the best thing to nurture this growth, but also protect them from different things that comes with poverty. Like I said, there is nothing cute, there is nothing funny, there is nothing hilarious about raising your child in poverty. And again, I said, there is no perfect way to make you some money, but you're going to have to figure it out. How? What do you need to do? Strategize. We live in a very different time than our parents and our grandparents. They had more things to rely on. They had more villages. They had different this, that, and the third to help them. But we are raising kids in a time where our society and what used to be is crumbling. It's not the way it was before. The school system is not safe now the way it was safe when I was going to school. Like I tell people, Los Angeles now is different than Los Angeles when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we could catch the buses. We could walk up and down, take long walks and things like that, just a bunch of kids. We had freedoms that these kids don't necessarily have today. I do not feel comfortable with my daughter catching the bus, walking to school with her friends, walking in the neighborhoods. I don't feel comfortable with her having that freedom here the way that I had it then. We have to figure it out. What are we going to do? Where are we going to where are we going to raise them? I live in South Central right now, but if I had to do all the school districts around this school area, things like that, I would not choose any of these schools. My mom had to pay my aunt to get her gas bill in a name so she'll prove that that I live where she lived to go to the school that I went to be able to go to that school district. Not school district, but just school, the area in the school, the magnet schools, and all the things that LUSD had. I had, we had to go through things. But what I was supposed to be at was Dorsey. I wasn't supposed to be at Hamilton. I was supposed to be at Dorsey, Crenshaw High. They did Crenshaw High when I was growing up and going to school. They lost their accreditation. Some of these schools are way better now than they were back in the day. Some of them are way worse. But there are different versions of school systems and things like that you have to think about, can I afford? And then think about the cost of daycares and stuff. This stuff is more expensive than it ever was before. And so you're faced now with a beautiful question that is really hard to answer, but it's, do you want to go back down the status quo? Do you want to go with what was before, or are you going to choose something different? Are you going to choose a path for yourself that looks different than how your mother raised you? It's okay to change it up. Be uniquely the mother that is best fit for you. You want to be a little drug dealer? Be a drug dealer. If sliding down the pole gives you the money to be able to afford a great school for your kid, girl, slide down it. There she goes, sliding down that pole. $1 bill. There she is. There she goes. There she is. There she goes. Do what you have to do. Because in this area, this age, they now are aware that they're poor. They're now aware their family doesn't have it. They're now aware that they're wearing the off-name brand clothing. They're now aware that they can't go over such and such's house or go to this event with such and such because mommy cannot afford it. Stop, baby. Up to age 5, honey, it don't matter. It do not matter. But from 6 to 11, those are very important roles in their life, and we don't take initiative to care about it. Cause you're like, so they got a roof over their head, they food fed. Yeah, but they also need to be able to, and I'm not saying that you need to teach your kids to be trendsetters. They need to have all the hairstyles that all the kids is having and things like that. And it doesn't mean that you need to, you know what I mean? Like, let's say, for instance, let's say clothes are very expensive. And we know that raising a child, they outgrow and things like that. So you've learned, and what you would do for the first 5 years is pick up the skill of learning how to sew, learning how to be a seamstress, learning how to be a fashion designer. So now you're making these really dope clothes for your kids. This gives your child an ability to be like, you know what, I am a trendsetter. If the kids at the school really like their fashion, they become really confident in themselves, right? And that may push them, and it's like this Montessori thing, right? It's pushing them to be into more of their interests and stuff. This from 6 to 11. You're from ages 6 to no 3. I said 3 to 5, but I say 6 to 11. Your child is coming into a sense of self. They want to get into the sports. They want to get into the things in that. This is the peak of your financial strain. We're just creeping up the hill of financial burdens that a child is going to be on us. After that, after this, it starts to trickle down, because in the teenage years, you could be like, "Hey, go get you a job. Let's go get you a worker's permit." You can't sell that to a 6 to 11 year old, right? um, you need to be able to. You want your children to be proud. My mom worked her ass off. We have good stuff. Even if you're not, like, again, you don't have to be no millionaire, but they don't shouldn't feel like they can't eat. They don't have nowhere to sleep. They can't get no fresh clothes to wash. And it shouldn't be these kids can't play and join this sports because you keep going on trips. Every time you turn around, you here, there, and there, and there. And then you go on to these parties. And then you trying to fund your social life. This is not about you anymore. It goes to them first. Make sure you upkeep, but there's extra stuff. There's images and fantasies and things that you're trying to attain that needs to be let go of. You like your heels, you like your hair done, you could get it cheap. You do not need to be paying $500 for some bundles, honey. Right now, you're just going to have the $20 synthetic, or get you a $40 drawstring ponytail. Go and get you that kit that I got from Walmart and learn how to do some press on nails and have them looking crazy for a little bit. You don't have to go to Melrose luxury spa. You could go right there on King and go to the Chin Lee and them and get your nails done. Go to Lee Nails and stuff, and then put your foot in the bucket. You don't have to have the salt scrub, the honey sugar plum drop, all those things. Another thing is, just because your money is up now don't mean your money is going to be up in 6 years. You need to look at the economy, not also the economy, but just what is going on in your field. You might be a popular content creator today, but that does not mean in 5 years that's something you're going to be able to sustain. So you need to be able to think about what is your next. You always have to think 2 steps ahead when it comes to your finances, on what I need to be doing right now to prepare me for tomorrow. Everybody tells you guys to be in a present moment, to think about the present, but in the present moment you need to be like, what do I do today to prepare me for next week? Today I'm gonna chop up the vegetables so that I can cook on Thursday. I did the prep work. I didn't lay in the bed thinking about me making that meal on Thursday, dreading the meal on Thursday because I'm constantly ruminating on all the things that I need to do to cook. Instead, I said I'm gonna get out of the bed and I'm gonna cut the bell peppers and the onions today. Tomorrow, I'm gonna marinate the meat. And then the next day, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. So then when Thursday comes, all I literally need to do is put them together and cook it and put it on that stove. You feel what I'm saying? And just because you have a prep work, it's better to prep and allot time to cook a meal in the oven fresh from scratch than it is for you to go driving to the fast food, right? That you rushing to get something to eat, you rushing to make this money is not going to work compared to you doing things that you need to do right now in this moment while you have the help, while you have the grace period. You know, right now, this is our grace period. This is the only time we're able to make this net. Now is the time. This is the only time that we are able to ever do this. There's never, next year is never going to be it. When the kid is 3 years old, people are not going to have that grace on you when your child is 3 compared to when your child is 3 months. Her cuteness, her tininess, her littleness is my saving grace for me to be able to pursue my entrepreneurship. But even then, time is ticking. It's either sink or swim. Utilize this time. You want to be an entrepreneur, chase that dream, honey. The dream is going to get you where you need to get to. Trust, have faith. You have everything that you need. It is okay to sacrifice now so that when they get to 6 to 11, they are reaping the fruits of your sowing. Okay? My neighbor, I would say last year. Was it last year? Whatever. He was digging and sowing and really getting his ground together. I was like, what is he making a mess? I'm like, what is he doing? Like, he just messed up that beautiful lawn. I'm like, oh my gosh. And he going and going. I'm like, okay, those things. I'm like, them things is gonna be dead. Yesterday, not the other day, I look back at his garden. I see he got, not only do he have the beautiful greens, but then what produced was cabbage. Cabbage is now growing. But a few months ago, he was working it every day, every morning. He's scraping and scrubbing and making a circle and doing this, and he changed it from one side to the other. Like, he did all this work in January for today there to be a cabbage. But there's no way in hell he will be able to go and get that cabbage. Put the seed in yesterday and today the cabbage is here. It takes a minute. It takes a minute for you to make that slow roasted chicken wings, honey roasted chicken wings. It took 3 hours in the oven on 375 for them things to be done. It's not 15 minutes in an air fryer. That's why it looks now you're about to get salmonella. It's the same thing with parenthood and your finances. It's not going to be, I ain't gonna worry about that until it gets here. No. Do the work now. Utilize this period now. Because with you broke and poor, it's all you're going to do is piss that kid off. They don't deserve to have that. She deserves pleasure. She deserves to enjoy her childhood. And that means that I have to do things now to prepare for then. I have everything that I need for her today. It don't cost much. I showed you the budget. It does not cost much for me to take care of my baby right now. I have everything that I need. In fact, I have more, that I have leftover money. I'm blessed. But that doesn't mean, but I cannot survive off of this in 2 years. And that's the thing. Some people, they get comfortable in whatever they're making today. But you need to be using what you have today for tomorrow. How can you flip it and reverse it for tomorrow? Mom. Say hi. You say bye. That's the end of our video, you guys. I didn't do any cards today, but we didn't need any cards today. We didn't need it. We didn't need the cards to tell us what we already need to be told. Shit, the cards might be talking about something totally different. The cards probably want to talk about a boo thing. We'd be like, we not right now. I know that I sounded rough and hard in the paint, but it's just the truth, friend. It is just the truth. I love you. Mic drop. But I'm not going to drop it because this is expensive.